Metal Tallán.
Queridos amigos de Metal Tallán, estamos el día de hoy pues con una gran entrevista porque es en realidad una entrevista múltiple. Tenemos un sello y tenemos varias bandas extremas. Okay, my friends, today I have an interview, multiple interview, because we are going to interview a label and several bands, extreme bands that you like. Hello, Nick. How are you?
Good, Fernando. Good. How you doing today?
Excellent. It's a good day for Metal Tallán and for all extreme followers of this program.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let me share my screen, please.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. We all can see that social media in Instagram, all of the blood.
Yeah.
It's the name of the label, okay?
So it's not really a label. It's more like a place that I just put all of these different projects at, because some of them are released on different labels across the world. So it's like kind of a label, but it's also more just like a single Bandcamp / Instagram account that I can put all this like extreme heavy music on that I create. So however we want to talk about it, but yeah.
This is the Bandcamp.
Yep.
All of the blood.
Yep.
Why this name?
Why this name? I think I chose it because of the idea that I had for it to be like a collection of all of this like extreme and heavy music. So all of the, being like a collection or gathering all of the, and blood, just like, all these different kind of things that tie, my interest in extreme music together, like black metal music that's on there, the death metal, everything. Just trying to tie it all together in one place, I thought. Plus, it sounds heavy, so that's always good too. So.
Let me say to you how I discovered to talk with you. I saw first Cart Cartlet Crowning.
Okay.
This is the first band, and the contact was I found was All of the Blood.
Okay. See if the Curdled Crowning was the first one.
And you answered about that.
Talk about that band first.
Yes.
Sure. So that's a newer project. So Curdled Crowning is a newer project. It actually it stems from one of the older projects on the label. So at the very bottom, there's a project called GXGXGX, which I did multiple releases with.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. So that was like a gore grind type, very noisy, sometimes drum machines, sometimes real drums, the very low pitch shifted, gurgly vocals and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so I started doing that a few years ago, and I released a couple of these albums with various labels, including my label, Wet Cassettes, which we can dive into a little bit too. So that started my interest in like the gore grind, gore noise type music. I stopped that project a few years ago, and I'm kind of just like picking it up with the Curdled Crowning. So I renamed it. It sounds a little bit different. The music sounds a little bit different. I'm writing it a little bit differently. But kind of the next step, the progression and the GX band. So yeah, I wrote the first album, a few months ago. It came out on Surrogate Records. They did like a CD pressing of it, and then very quickly after that, I did the follow-up album, which just came out, called After the Afterbirth. So that just came out, like 2 weeks ago. And that came out via GSP Records, which is in, I believe they're in Germany. So yeah, it's just in the traditional way that like gore grind, gore noise is. A lot of it's like about medical stuff. The newer album's about like birth and medical things related to that, because I just I know I talked to you about this, but we just had our first kid, so I saw like firsthand how crazy that whole process is, like in the hospital, and my wife like giving birth, and how it's just so crazy, it's so wild. So I took it. Was that
what happened to you, my husband?
What happened to me? Oh, nothing happened to me. My wife, she killed it. She was amazing. But just seeing like a person being brought into this world, I thought like that was more intense than and all the gory bits around it. That was more an intense thing that I've experienced than any like death metal album I could think of. Guys write about, and girls and people write about like all these like medical things for these type of albums, all the gore stuff, but like seeing, and a lot of it I feel like is hypothetical, like everybody's pretending they're a doctor, and like they're trying to do their best like Carcass impression or whatever, and that's cool. But like I think it's more interesting when you could see something like firsthand and write about it and how it connects to that music. So that's the direction I went with this album and this project.
Excuse me for this personal question.
Sure.
It's important. Your wife listen this kind of music?
Not really. Not this. She does listen to more like the like black metal, like death metal stuff with me. Not really this music though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she can understand these topics of the lyrics, for example, no?
Sure.
Okay.
She's
a regular wife that no listen this kind of music,
Yeah.
maybe
Yes.
it will think you are crazy
Yeah. Yeah. I can see
or a
that.
killer.
I could see that. Luckily, my wife's also a musician. So we like play and dance together. We've been, making music together. We've been together for 10 years this year.
Oh,
Yeah, and we've been married for 4 years this year. And yeah, we just had the kid. But yeah, so we've been making music together for 10 years. And she's, super talented. She does a lot of she does like alternative more music. She could like actually sing, like I can't sing, she does like more like alternative like punk stuff and separate from me. And then when we come together, we'll make stuff like this, we'll make like hardcore music, we'll make metal music. We made like a sludge metal album like a few months ago together, where she was like playing drums, so that was really cool. So she gets it. She understands that. Some of this stuff is like, it's fringe, it's niche, some of it's weird to talk about and to listen to and to tell your parents that you play and to show your parents your artwork and stuff like that, but she's super cool. She's super cool about it. She doesn't listen to all of it, but she does listen to a bunch of it and partakes in a lot of it too.
have you ever played with her?
Yeah. Yeah. All the time. All the time.
In any this project?
So not in any of these, but through my label, Wet Cassettes, we put out an album. We called the project Rotten Finger, and that's just like a sludgy kind of doom metal type thing with like screamy, yes, with screamy lyrics over it. So we played in that together, and we played in like a few punk bands and together too as well.
Wow, excellent.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I heard you say a time machine topic.
Say that again.
In GGG
Yes.
project, you say you use time machine lyric.
There's some drum machines in it. I tried for the GG
Time machine. A lyric about time machine, you say?
Time machine?
Yes, time machine.
Oh no, I'm sorry, drum machine.
Drum machine. Oh.
Yeah, drum machine. So there's some songs that have the drum machine, on it. There's also a few albums where I have made my own guitars too. So like a single string, 2-string bass guitar. A few of those albums, like I made the guitars to play like all the bass on it and the guitars on it. So it was a fun project, but the curdled crowning is like the next step up from that. Again, it's drum machines, programmed drums, all the warped vocals and all that good stuff.
Cool. Can we talk a little bit about some projects? For example, Agruzzi. Yeah. So that's a project that started again to kind of like reference my label. So basically, none of these projects would really exist without my label Wet Cassettes. I started that in 2018 with my friend Bill, and we basically just started it by just jamming and putting out like hardcore and metal music that we wanted to, and we've been that we knew wouldn't necessarily play live. We just wanted to record in our basement and share it with people. And we did like limited runs of tapes. We'd dub everything at home. We'd print the labels at home, do the whole thing. This project, Agruzzi, came from one of our black metal projects, which is called Bowback. And we released 2 albums on Wet Cassettes as Bowback. Like you do in black metal, or some people do in black metal, I gave my black metal name was Agruzzi. And I was like the drummer, and I did some of the vocals. So this is like my solo album that I did. One-man band.
One man band. Like most of these projects are just me. There's a few that have guest vocalists, yes, but this is one man band. It's a little bit so it's definitely black metal influenced. But it also, I was listening to like a lot of free jazz at that time. So a lot of the drums are very, very free. There's not a lot of meter to them. They kind of like go all over the place. Very free. There's not a lot of meter to them. They kind of like go all over the place. Same thing with the guitar work. It's just, I'd say it's like free music, free jazz inspired black metal. So it was, again, not a project that ever maybe do live. It was fun to record. Maybe I'll do another album someday. But yeah, that was a fun one. That was a few years ago, I think now too.
Wow, excellent. This is the third posthumous pilot.
Yeah. Yeah, Pustulous Pilot, which is like a play on oh wow, what's the guy's who killed Jesus Christ? Pontius Pilate. So it's a play on that the name. So this is a
conceptual band and an album.
Is this conceptual?
Yes.
Not really. Just the name, just for the name. So this is again just a one person thing. This is all me, just me working on this music. I think I've done 2 albums as Pustulous Pilot now. Again, one here and then one through Wet Cassettes. And I tried to just make it, I'd say like experimental death metal, I'll say. So a lot of the riffs just repeat with like subtle effects going during them. It has the very low death metal-ish vocals. I think for this album, I pretty much like improvised all the vocals too. So I just had the music recorded and just let the vocals rip, just grab the microphone and just record it in 1 take or 2 takes. But yeah, then I would go in the back and through the editing process. I record like all this music too by myself, like basically at this desk that I'm sitting and talking to you at. So, I'm very much into editing and the post-production process. So I love going in and like taking sounds and trying to like manipulate them and make them sound like something like other than a guitar or other than a drum set and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like fun little things in this album and the other album where I'm kind of just taking those raw instruments and kind of mixing them up, adding some sounds you might not usually hear in death metal. So
this album has 1 track,
Mm-hmm.
March of Morning,
Mm-hmm.
14 minutes 29 seconds.
Yeah. Yep.
A super large track.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Why that long?
What's happening?
What happened to the track?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, again, it's kind of a result of me working on it in the post production. So after everything was recorded, so I basically recorded several segments, just kind of just looping, just playing, except not using like a loop pedal, So I would just play the same riff like over and over and over for like 10 minutes and change very subtly like what I was doing. Do the same thing for drums, same thing for the bass. And I would do that and I would take like these big, like 10-minute chunks of song and I would just like cut like the best like few minutes out of them and then kind of stitch them together. And just go about it that way. Yeah. So a lot of like stitching stuff together to get this longer track, which again, I don't know, there's not a ton of 15-minute death metal songs, there's more and more now, but that's why I wanted to try to do that.
The beginning of this track is so beautiful. I remember Ball Thrower, the first albums on Noruega and Sweden, death metal, uh, old school.
Yeah.
I love this track. It sounds so good.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, it's so beautiful. And what this art design?
What's the art?
Yes.
So it was actually the gray. So the gray at the top and the bottom. That's actually a photograph that I took of the woods behind my house. I then like photocopied it and kind of like stretched it out as I was photocopying it. So you can kind of see like there's stuff resembling like tree limbs and branches there, but they're like warped. They're like pulled through. So I use like an actual Xerox machine for this one. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the artwork looks like it's Xerox or copy, but it's fake. I'm just doing it in Photoshop. But this one was like real old school, like Xerox pulled through. So that's the background, and then I hand drew the logo for that. So yeah.
The nature works with you in this. Excellent. This is your wood
Yeah.
outside your home.
Yep.
Yes, Pustulus pilot. The other, okay, I do have a compilation too, no? Several artists. This is a compilation in this label compilation. Compilation of these two bands we talk about. Yes, and a group C.
Yeah. So these are just again, these are like compilation tracks that I got asked to do by other labels, which like I list at the bottom of this. There's like one was on my label, Wet Cassettes. I did 2 songs, contributed 2 songs. Who else? There's the Salt Lake Terror Collective. There was a place called New Jersey's Finest. I'm from New Jersey, by the way. So New Jersey's Finest is like a label or a YouTube channel that did a compilation. And another one. And I just contributed these songs, and I just didn't want them to get lost, So I've seen that happen a lot where bands put out compilation songs and then something happens to the label or something happens to the YouTube video and it's gone forever. And it's like, I really liked that song and now I can never listen to it again, unless you bought a copy or something. So I just wanted to make sure that I had all these songs that I contributed individually just in one place, so I just threw them up here.
And why not the other projects in this compilation? Why not the other projects in this compilation?
Why not add other projects here?
Yes. Why not?
Just because I don't think I've done really many other compilation tracks yet for those other projects. A lot of the other bands that we've been covering are more or less I'd say like self-contained. So like I wrote the albums like just for the album, where Agrovzi and GX, I was just like writing stuff and recording stuff nonstop for those for a while. So I had some extra material that didn't go on one of the albums that I submitted for these compilations. So,
okay, these tracks are made until this compilation. Okay. The other ceramic thing. Wow. It's super black metal.
Yeah.
So dark.
Yeah. So this is what was that?
It's a Malevolous Core art.
Yes, and this is again taken like from the woods from where I used to live actually. So the kind of circle that's around framing my portrait That was
You?
like, that's me. Yeah, that's me. So the circle that's framing everything is actually, it was like a vine that I found in my backyard that I like twisted up into like, almost like a crown, and I took a picture of it and I thought it was a cool frame to use. And again, I know that, black metal, I don't like leaning on tropes. Like I don't like writing about nature in black metal because everybody else writes about nature in black metal. Like I don't have to do that. I like writing about what I want to write about, and if it fits in the genre or people are accepting of that or not, cool. If not, that's cool too. It's just a lot of these projects are selfish. It's like I want to make this music, and if people listen to it, awesome. If not, that's okay too. Or if they think it fits in their their definition of what true black metal is or whatever, that's what that is. This was a project that's it's very synth heavy. I know that like dungeon synth is like really big right now. There's a lot of dungeon synth bands coming out and getting a lot of attention, which is great. This takes that sound, but also adds like, there's some like drum beats behind it, which are like, I tried to make a little bit hypnotic because that's something that I often associate with, especially like older black metal. Just a drum beat that's just like a blast beat going for like 3 minutes straight, and there's just like no let go. What was that?
It's maybe like a monotonic drum.
Yeah. It just goes and goes, and it puts you, at least it puts me sometimes in like just a state, like a trance, almost like trance music. I feel like. So I tried doing that a little bit with like the drum beats here. So it's very synth heavy, but most of the songs, if not all of them, I haven't listened to it in a minute. They have some kind of like very repetitious electronic drum, which isn't they don't sound like black metal drums, but I wanted to kind of pull in the idea of that trance and that repetition that I hear in some black metal that I love. And then the vocals are more like a traditional black metal vocal.
Yes, like the older black metal.
Mm-hmm.
Is there in the lyrics maybe a New Year's horror story?
Are there stories in the lyrics?
Yes, in any project.
Yes, I'd say a lot of the lyrics. This one actually has lyrics. Some of the projects are improvised. I just like I said for Punchless Pilot, I'll just turn the microphone on, just listen to the music, and just go, and I don't even know what I'm saying. This one and some of the other projects do have lyrics written. It's usually like poetry. I will write poems in my phone. I'll write poems, in like little books that I keep and stuff like that. And then I'll just try to put them to the music. Sometimes it works better than other times. Sometimes it really fits. Sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, these have some lyrics, I guess. I'm proud of. I don't know if there's necessarily like any real story behind them. But yeah, they're just basically just like. any real story behind them. But yeah, they're just basically just like poems I'm just kind of reciting over some of the songs. And similarly with the Grubsy, it was just like a collection of like poetry, like free poetry that I wrote that I would just kind of recite over the music as a background. So
you live so close to a wood, no? To the woods.
I used to live closer to the woods. So I just moved about a year ago. But my home that I had before this one, my backyard was like all wooded, a lot of woods. I could walk down like a little trail and there'd be like a creek in my backyard. We'd have deer and fox and rabbits and everything running through our yard all the time. It was cool. It was cool. But yeah, we moved.
This nature inspired you to play maybe atmospherical black metal?
The nature inspired. I'd say that like actually for some of the music, yes, and in the sense that so we had like a porch, like an outside porch that was screened in, and I would say a lot of the time I would sit just like outside or like out, like by our fire pit and stuff like that, which was right next to, the wooded area, and just write. Yeah. So maybe I wasn't writing like about nature or about the woods, but I'd say like I, at certain times, like was in that or by it, and it of course inspired the imagery, but probably the music and stuff too.
Wow. Excellent. Okay. Let's come back. Ceramics. A witchcraft?
Yeah, Hexenschorf. Yeah. So it's I think it's German for witch fingers, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm German. My father came from Germany. My last name's Hertzberg. So very German. So I try to throw like fun little like German, words.
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel. Yeah. With witches.
A Germany story.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Hansel and Gretel is a German story.
I believe so. Yeah. I believe so. Yeah. So that connects to witches too. Yeah.
Now I understand you.
Yeah. try to use like, you try to use like a little bit of like, I do, try to use like a little bit of like, heritage and the things that you learned, from your family, from your own personal stuff, and you try to integrate that in your music, even if it's weird and crazy and violent sounding. Some of it comes from like a very like, solid, like loving place sometimes, which is, it's interesting to kind of tackle both those things at the same time, I think. So yeah, this is just like a straight up, raw black metal project. It's just guitars, drums, vocals, no crazy like editing, no bass, just straight like very harsh, kind of like punky black metal songs. I put this album out, and then just last year I released like a full length actually of this project, with very, very strong intentions to like play it live. That's why I kept it very simple. I figured like I could play guitar and do the vocals and find somebody to like do the drums, but like it is not easy as you get older to find people to play music with.
You're right.
So it hasn't happened yet. I'm not going to say it's never going to happen. But it's definitely tough to and now that I have a kid, it's also tough too, cause that's priority. So it's hard to find people who are still interested in music, going into their 30s and want to play in a two-piece black metal band with you. But it's fun. It was a fun project, and yeah. So yeah,
Three tracks.
3 tracks on this one. Yeah, very short, and then the full length I did I think 10. I did 10 tracks for you.
Okay, let's go back. Section scarf. KSLL. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Is maybe ecologic stuff?
Yeah, ecological. Yeah, definitely. So this is again kind of KSSL, which I call Kessel, which is again it's German, meaning cauldron. So again, witches, stuff like that, kind of tying it all together. This I recorded with my friend Gary Brentz, who plays in the band Gone Mage. He was in Cara Nair, Homeskin. He's the vocalist on all these tracks, and I programmed the drums and I did all the guitars and stuff. The basic idea is kind of like you said, like ecological. It's kind of like an environmental-ish type thing about how we as people are kind of like destroying everything, and kind of just taking a kind of a greater look at humanity and how we're impacting not only the earth but maybe like the greater like cosmos and stuff like that, like space and the universe and what comes after us and everything, so it's kind of our like hippie, eco green black metal ish project.
Wow.
Yeah. I wrote a lot of the guitars to a metronome. So I didn't write to any drum parts. So I just wrote all the guitars to a metronome. And it was a really interesting writing process. I tried to find shapes in the guitar. Like, instead of picking notes that necessarily worked together, I would like look at my hand or look at the frets and find a pattern. And that's kind of what also the name refers to, casting patterns. I would just try to find patterns in the guitar neck and then just like kind of repeat those patterns over and over again. Kind of similarly, like I talked to you before about like the Pustulous Pilot stuff. I would just like play the same guitar riffs like in a pattern for minutes to a metronome and record it, and then go back and like do the same thing with like a similar but different pattern, and just like overlay them. So they kind of, the guitar parts on this sound like really like out there. They're really like I wouldn't say they're like technical, but they're just like not usual for this style, I'd say. That's how it was kind of written. And then I sent it off to Gary, and he kind of just went at it with his vocals, and here we go. Yeah. And that came out like 2 years ago. Wow.
Oh, excellent. Let's go back. Yeah. Okay, there is flying bass. Flying
Bass. Yeah.
Twer Latnier is in what language?
I think it's my vocalist. My vocalist came up with that. I think it might be Icelandic, and I believe it means "two dead." So there's 2 of us in the band, and I believe it means "two dead." I might be getting that wrong. If I am wrong, somebody say it in the comments. But yeah, so this is one of the, I only have like 3 projects or 4 projects on this page that have like guest vocalists. So this one features my friend Paul, who's also known as Nazarat. He does black metal in Germany. and kind of similarly to KSSL Kessel, I wrote a lot of the music ahead of time. I knew Paul from my label Wet Cassettes. You know, we were like exchanging a lot of black metal and stuff through there, and just like talking about, you know, music. And I was like, I love this guy's vocals for his project. What can I do to get him on one of my albums? So I wrote this. It's a little bit more like atmospheric. There's like synth going the whole time too. So yeah, it's fun. It's short. And Paul does a really great job with the vocals. It's more melodic than I'd say a lot of my work is too. A lot of moments where you're kind of like, oh, like that's a pretty, you know, sounding part, you know. So that's fun to try to change that up. And we're actually working on the follow up for this album right now, so that's cool too.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, we are at the end of this interview. Please, your last word.
Yeah. So, thank you so much for having me, Fernando. It was so nice talking to you. I'd say please check out, you know, the All of the Blood Bandcamp. You can find me on Instagram too. And yeah, check out the music. You can buy it all on Bandcamp. And say hi. I love collaborating with new people and meeting new people. So say hey.
Okay, Nick. Thank you so much to this platform.